Hello everyone, nice to see you again on my channel Mind-Blowing Facts in today's video, where we'll dive into the fascinating world of relationships, attraction and psychology. Our topic today might seem surprising or even controversial, but it's one that touches on human nature, social dynamics, and the delicate dance that exists between men and women. It's called Why Women Only Want Men Who Don't Value Them. At first glance, this title may raise some eyebrows. You might even think, that's not true, or why would anyone want something they don't value? But stick with me, because the answer lies deeper in the complexities of human behavior, subconscious desires, and psychological patterns that play out in modern relationships. Let's start by acknowledging a basic truth. Attraction isn't always about logic. It's not about who has the most attractive personality, the best career, or the deepest emotional connection. Attraction, at its core, often taps into something primal, something that is, for lack of a better word, about chemistry and that inexplicable pull we feel towards certain people. But when it comes to women, many studies and social theories suggest that they may, at times, feel more drawn to men who appear less emotionally available, or who seem to value them less. This concept can be puzzling because we live in a society where healthy, reciprocal relationships are promoted and valued. Yet, we see this contradictory attraction playing out in real life. It's not a matter of wanting to be mistreated, but a matter of a deeper, often unconscious psychological attraction to men who seem distant or who don't prioritize them. Why does this happen? Well, it starts with something called emotional availability. Many women find themselves drawn to men who don't show all of their emotions or aren't fully invested at first. Why is that? One theory is that it's tied to the challenge and thrill of pursuit. Humans have a deep-seated desire for novelty, excitement, and even a little bit of challenge when it comes to love. The idea of being chased or working to earn someone's affection taps into an innate drive to conquer, to win, and to feel validated. Women might be more attracted to men who are emotionally distant because they see it as a challenge. The less he shows interest, the more she may feel motivated to win his affection. Another reason could be the way women are socialized. From a young age, many women are conditioned to view themselves as needing to prove their worth. This isn't just about relationships. It's tied into society's broader expectations. Women are often expected to strive for attention, validation, and affection. So when a man doesn't immediately provide those things, it can inadvertently trigger a deeper desire to be seen, heard, and understood. But let's flip the coin for a moment and consider a deeper, perhaps more psychological reason for this attraction. For many women, opening up emotionally can feel vulnerable and even risky. If they invest in someone too quickly, and that person doesn't return the same level of investment, the fear of emotional rejection becomes more intense. This fear often leads them to subconsciously seek men who are less likely to hurt them emotionally. These men are less likely to become too attached, which allows women to keep a certain level of emotional distance, protecting themselves from vulnerability. In other words, if a woman can control her emotional involvement with someone who isn't fully invested, she can safeguard herself from the full impact of emotional intimacy. This may explain why, at times, women might seem drawn to men who show little to no interest, because it gives them the emotional space they need to protect themselves. Now let's talk about self-worth. Many people, men and women alike, struggle with their own sense of self-esteem. For women, finding someone who isn't completely interested in them might create a sense of longing or a need to prove themselves. This dynamic can fuel a desire to win someone over, to make them change their mind, and to feel validated. But here's the thing. Self-worth cannot be solely tied to the validation of others, especially not someone who doesn't prioritize or value you. This is where the idea of self-love and self-respect comes into play. The most fulfilling relationships come from mutual appreciation, respect, and understanding. When a woman values herself and recognizes her worth, she won't settle for a relationship where she's undervalued. The key is learning to recognize those emotional patterns early on, so that you don't get stuck in unhealthy relationship dynamics that feel emotionally draining. Let's shift gears a little and explore attachment theory, which offers another lens through which we can understand this dynamic. According to attachment theory, there are different types of attachment styles that influence how we form relationships. Some women have an anxious attachment style, which means they may crave constant reassurance and validation. This style can lead to a pattern of attracting partners who are emotionally unavailable, reinforcing their fear of abandonment. On the other hand, avoidant attachment styles can cause men to pull away emotionally, which ironically creates more attraction for some women. When someone pulls away, it triggers a deeper desire to connect, to solve the mystery of why they're emotionally distant. This push and pull dynamic, though unhealthy, can feel exciting in the moment because it creates that tension, that longing for connection that feels almost like a game. It's also impossible to ignore the influence of media, pop culture, and societal norms on our perceptions of relationships. Think about all the movies, books, and television shows where the romantic tension revolves around an emotionally distant or bad boy character who eventually softens. This narrative is pervasive and can influence how we view love, desire, and attraction. Women are often shown in these media portrayals as desiring the man who doesn't make it easy for them. They're led to believe that if a man truly loves them, he will fight for them in some way, even if it means playing hard to get or pulling away emotionally. But it's important to recognize that real relationships are far more complex and should be based on mutual respect, communication, and emotional investment. Real love doesn't need to be a constant game of cat and mouse. Now let's talk about the difference between healthy love and toxic dynamics. Healthy relationships are about balance. Both partners should feel seen, heard, and valued. There's a deep level of mutual respect that fosters trust and emotional intimacy. On the other hand, toxic dynamics are often rooted in fear, insecurity, and unhealthy patterns. These dynamics create confusion, emotional instability, and ultimately can lead to heartache. While the attraction to men who don't value women may seem compelling in the moment, it often leads to heartbreak and disappointment. In the long run, women who constantly find themselves in these types of relationships may eventually feel emotionally drained, undervalued, and confused about their own worth. So, why do women sometimes find themselves drawn to men who don't value them? It's a complex mixture of psychological forces, emotional patterns, and cultural conditioning. It's about the chase, the thrill of mystery, the subconscious desire for validation, and sometimes a deep-seated fear of vulnerability. But it's crucial to remember that self-worth should never come from someone else's attention or affection. Healthy relationships come from mutual respect, emotional availability, and shared values. Understanding this can help break the cycle and create more fulfilling connections based on real love. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember that you are worthy of love and respect, always.